Hello, friends. It's me, Wingus. I'm just in this cave looking for my newest treasure. Come with me. Let's take a look. Wait, what's that over there?
It's it's Shadowdark! Ah! All right, today we're going to take a look at Shadowdark RPG, one of my favorites in the D20 rollover systems. It's got that nice modern mechanics with some improvements and things like that, but it has that nice OSR kind of mentality when it comes to rolling and when it comes to character builds and things like that. So let's take a quick look. Number one, we see this fabulous ribbon. We always love ribbons. We got the nice tables on the inside. That's always nice. Got your weapons, damage, cost, armor, some difficulty classes, movements, morale, dying, spell focus, and things like that. Come over here to the Shadowdark page. Writing, design, and layout by the awesome Kelsey Dion. And some cool art by a couple people you might recognize here. Quite cool. What I like about this is not only did I get the book, but I also got a free PDF, not like those other guys. Got a nice table of contents, easy to find everything. Nice introduction, nice black and white art throughout the whole book. You'll see a lot of cool kind of like just visions like this that really make you kind of make your imagination kind of go and transport you into this cool world. Like you could almost use this as like what your adventure might be. Like what are these ruins and what's that little thing over there and that mountain and what's this creature? Is that a creature coming out or a statue or something? So it's pretty cool. You got kind of like this little intro sentence. What is Shadowdark? The standard kind of what is the basics here. It's got the 6 stats. It's basically, D&D type of things, some hit points. And now we get to characters. This is a good stuff. So, yeah, again, with this black and white art really evokes, that kind of like delving into this darkness, which Shadowdark is all about. So it's all about torches and things like that, and dungeon delving and exploring strange, dark, foreboding forests and caves and things like that. So we got like looks like a half orc. You got like your human wizard. You got some halfling, maybe uh, thief or rogue or something, and you have this dwarf here, the bat. So here we go into characters. We're already in character building. It's pretty cool. Well, I guess you got a quick overview, your name, your ancestry, your class, your level, your XP, alignment, deity, title, background, which is really nice. There's no skills in the system, so it's all like you kind of like based on your background, what things you might be able to do and whatever you can kind of work out with the GM, whatever you kind of have on your mind. It's not set in stone. That's what I like about the old school way of gaming. It just whatever is on your mind, you can try to, hey, can I try to attempt that? Your AC, your attacks, your talents, which kind of make every character build different. So unlike other systems where if you're a fighter, you're going to be a fighter no matter what, and you're going to have this standard progression. When in here, Kelsey does something really interesting. And she's got you got your starting level, you got your 0 level characters, which funnels are always fun. It kind of has your stats and everything works a little bit different, and then your first level characters kind of goes out, your stats and what you're going to do and the page number. So it's really, new player friendly. I think this game system really is. It's very nice. Explains what the stats are over here, what is strength, dexterity, all that. And then again, like once you roll up your stats, all you do is look at your modifier. We don't need to ever really look at those stats again, really. You got your ancestry in here. You got a dwarf. So each ancestry also has like one kind of characteristic about them. No dark vision. This game is about torches and torchlight and really using that in that forebodingness, which is really cool. So you got your dwarf, your elf, your goblin, half orc, halfling, and human. So the dwarf has stoutness. You get a +2 HP to start, and then you roll your hit points with advantage. Elf, you get Farsight, which is a +1 bonus to ranged weapons or spell casting bonuses. Goblins can never be surprised. Half-orc, you get mighty attacks, so +1 attack and damage. Halfling, stealthy. Once per day, you can become invisible for 3 rounds. And you're human, which I usually like playing because I like to live in a fantastical world, and I'm exploring that fantastical world being a human instead of already being a fantastical creature. I kind of like to be someone who is exploring that fantastical realm. So humans get ambitious. So you get 1 extra talent. And again, you got this nice photo of all these different ancestries here represented here. That's pretty cool and what they're doing. So here you go. Here is a character class. 2 pages, that's it. And this is just art. So you got fighter, you know, and because there's no skills or anything like that, it's all about what you make of it. What kind of fighter are you in your mind? Like you could be this gladiator in dented armor, an acrobatic duelist, far-eyed elven archer. There is no archer. You're just like, I'm a fighter, I'm an elf, and I have a bow. So I'm like this awesome elven archer is kind of your backstory. You get all weapons, all armor and shield, and you get a nice 1d8 hit points per level. So yeah, that's nice. And really this maxes out at 10 levels. So, you know, the most you can be is, best case scenario would be like 80, unless you're the dwarf. Maybe you're going to get a little bit higher than that. So your skills are, you're a hauler. You can add your constitution modifier to your gear slots, which is also nice. I don't like encumbrance. Sorry, that was one thing that always bothered me. I'm like, I don't want to bean count. I want to just play games. So I really like slot-based encumbrance because I don't like bean counting so much. And then you get weapon mastery. So choose a weapon, you get +1 to attack, and you get kind of damage, slight upgrades as you level up. And grit, you can choose either strength or dexterity rolls to have an advantage on. And then here's how to make, like I said before, each character, like I could be a fighter, but the next time when you make your characters, you roll this talent. So if your first level, you get 1 talent. If you're human, you get 2, which is nice. So you can roll this. So you could be different types of fighter, and it's fun because you don't know. I don't want to know. I want to be kind of like, help me imagine this person. I just have some ideas. So, you know, if you roll 2, that's usually cooler. You can get an additional weapon mastery, or usually like 3 to 6, you get additional +1s, or you get like, you can choose an armor, that kind of thing. So it's really cool. I like not being the same thing. I like random character generation. And this is kind of a little bit of both. You got your priest class, so same thing. Like I could be like a priest, a Templar, or I could be a shaman or a zealot, or I use this to build a paladin. You can, you know, same thing. So you get different weapons, special armor. Your hit points are 1d6. You get some different languages. You have your turn undead, your deity, and spellcasting. Spellcasting in this system is not slot based. It's all roll to cast. So roll to cast is just 10 plus the level. So if it's a level 1 spell, you have to roll an 11 to succeed on casting the spell. And if you fail, you lose the spell for the day. And if you critically fail, something really fun happens. And I love spell mishap tables. Those are always fun. So yeah, so being a priest, so it's your... So you can cast your spells based on your wisdom. And then same thing, so you get your spells here and your priest talent. So you might gain advantage on casting a spell, or you get +1 to spell casting checks, or you can get some +1s to melee or ranged or something like that. Thief, you could be an assassin, an artist, a burglar. Yeah, I like thief, not rogue. Thief is just more rogue is like a type of fighter. Like thief is, you know, this kind of guy. This guy doing some second story work, or you know, pickpocket, or something like that. So you get different weapons, short bows, short swords. You get less in armor. Hit points are 1d4, but you get backstab, which is always good. And in here you have just a general thievery skill. So it could be it kind of goes with everything: climbing, sneaking, hiding, disguises, finding traps, delicate tasks. So it's very up to you and the GM, like whether you could do this. And then you get some thief talents. So you gain advantage on initiative rolls, or choose a talent, or +2 to distribute your stats. So each time you are a thief or gain levels, you get different things that can make your thief more thiefy. And then the last class, because we only need 4. Last one's wizard. So you could be a rune tattooed adept. I like that. That's really cool. I want to play that. That's also kind of like in Deathbringer, that idea of wizards being kind of outcasts, tattooed mysteries, strange people really is cool. You could be a witch or anything like that. Some kind of interesting thing. I like 1d4 hit points, learning spells. So you can learn spells as opposed to the priest. So you can find a scroll of a higher level and try to learn that. And it's a DC 15 intelligence, which sounds really high on a D20. But being a wizard, you're probably going to have like maybe a +3 or +4. So, it's in the realm of possibility. And spell casting. So spell casting, they cast on their intelligence. Wizard spell alone, and then some wizard talents. Like 2, make a 1 random magic item of a type you choose. So that's cool. You can start with a magic item if you're lucky. Next is some backgrounds. Same thing. You don't have, like I said, no skills. So it's all just kind of, what kind of background are you? So I could just kind of roll real quick. I have 10. I'm a barbarian. You left the horde, but it never quite left you. So, any kind of barbarian or survival skills you could kind of imagine this character is good at. Maybe finding water or hunting down prey, maybe. I don't know. It could be anything. Or influencing people. What's cool is you could be like a wizard with that. So maybe you're not so much a wizard, but as it said before, a shaman. Maybe you're a outlander shaman. So you belong to some kind of barbarian tribe or outlander tribe or whatever you want to call it. Alignment, I like it: chaotic, lawful, and neutral. So just quick and easy. I don't like tons of alignments. Really up to the player, and kind of should develop through play. Some cool deities. Memnon, that's my character's deity, the chaotic Memnon. So I actually because I made a priest, and I always wanted to be like, I don't want a priest to just be a wizard that can wear armor. So he had tenets. I made like a couple easy tenets of his religion. I made like his holy day and things like that, and his icons of his god, just to make it more flavor. Like a priest or a cleric shouldn't just be a wizard who can wear armor. That's just boring to me. I want it to be something special. Like why is he adventuring? Did his god tell him to, or is he proselytizing? That's always fun. And of course, other fun gods in here. Or you could make up your own, because it's just like the Lost. 2 of the 9 are lost. So you could just make up your own god. So you got titles in here. I write them down. I have yet to totally work them into play. I mean, I do a little bit. Like, so under priest, if you're a chaotic priest, you're kind of like a zealot or a cultist. Could be up to a chaos knight. Or if you're lawful, you're an acolyte, templar, paladin. Same with fighter. So thief, you could be, more of a thuggish person, or more of kind of like, if you're lawful, you get to be like an underboss or a boss. If you're neutral, you're just kind of bandit king. That's cool. Wizard titles, shaman, apprentice, arcanist. Druid is neutral because you're like nature magics, I guess. It's cool. Very cool art. This thief sitting up on the tiles looking for his next prey. Your languages, your starting gear. This is for 0 level characters. You just kind of roll it up, and your armor class is just 10 plus whatever dexterity and armor you get. First level, get 2d6 times 5 gold. And you get gear. It's pretty simple gear table. There's a big kind of joke about in Shadowdark there's no hammers, so it became a big thing on the Discord, a big thing as this Kickstarter was going out, and people first started noticing, why are there iron spikes but no hammers in when we were looking at the quick playtest rules, and it became a whole kind of big joke and became Hammergate. So hammers are kind of a big kind of in joke among the Shadowdark crew. And it was just like, there's no need to really write hammer. You can use an iron spike to hammer it in, was her answer. So I don't know, it's kind of fun to have little Easter eggs and fun stuff like that. And a quick Easter egg you could point out is the priest's holy symbol is a hammer. So there's a couple Easter eggs in the book. And if I remember while I'm flipping through, I'll pull those up. But back to gear. And then you have a cool thing like just a crawling kit. So it's a good cost, only 7 gold, better than buying each individually. And you get a basic pack, your backpack, flint and steel, torch rations, iron spikes, grappling hook, and 60 foot of rope, which every person needs. So it gets you going quick. You got your armor, your weapons, and then just there's different types of weapons. A finesse weapon, so you could, instead of attacking with strength, maybe it's a rapier, so you can attack with your dex, because if you're a thief, maybe you have a high dex but low strength, so you can, easier for you to use that weapon if it's a finesse weapon. So that's cool. Not a lot of weapons, so you can hack and change and add weapons. It's enough. This is the game. It's enough. You can figure it out. It's got enough to get you started without giving you everything. So there's a lot of room for you to add and do your own thing. And what we always like, GM like, what's that guy's name in the tavern? I don't know. That's nice. She has it broken down, D20, and then by your ancestry. So you can make different types of names. Now level advancement. So it's 10. Like, I don't know. I've never played that high. Usually I'm like, maybe 6 or 7 I played to. I never really played to the high levels because we kind of like wanted to play a different game. We didn't just play back in the day D&D. I played a lot of different types of games, so we didn't just stay in the same game forever. We'd play and then be like, let's do something else. So leveling up, it's just in 10. So as soon as you get to level 1 with 10 XP, you go to the next level and then it resets. So you always reset back to 0 after you gain your level up. And you get a talent roll. Now you can see first level, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th. And this is nice. There's so many awesome tables in this book. And here's the first really good one for us. We have random characters. So you could make a random party of adventurers. You could just roll this up and just say, these are what you're going to play. And you can throw them out as like a quick start characters or NPC characters, things like that. Even roll on your wizard spells and gear. Maybe you don't know what you want to play and you just can roll this up. This is great. This is such a great art. I love black and white. I'm so glad it stuck to black and white. So we go into magic. You got how to cast spells. It tells you how to cast wizard, priest spells. Everything's DC 10. And then critical success. On a 20, you can double one of the spell's numeric effects. So if it's like a 50 feet thing, it's 100 feet. Or like the length of the spell is 1d4 rounds. It could be 2d4 rounds. This is also good. I like critical failure on spells. So for a wizard, you can't cast that skill for a day. And you must also roll on the wizard mishap table corresponding to the spell's tier, which comes up on the next page. So if you get a critical fail, you can get all these really interesting things. One time we actually had a failure. The wizard ended up getting the energy surge. So he glowed bright purple and we were exploring. And then we didn't need any torches to have that character explore. I was the GM at the time, but that character didn't need torches. And because the creatures were dark adapted, they're not used to light. I kind of allowed them some advantage on like these creatures that were in there that were just blinded by this guy who's a walking neon sign. So that was actually worked to his advantage. It was kind of fun. When priests, there's not a spell failure, so you actually have to do penance with your god. So you have to sacrifice per level. So if it's a level 1 spell failure, you have to spend 5 gold and perform a ritual and try to gain your god's favor back. So that's always fun. So here's some wizard mishaps. We can just roll up a couple. If I'm level 1, what do I get? I failed 6. Discorporation. 1 random piece of your gear disappears forever. Or maybe it comes back at some point. That could be kind of weird. That could be fun. And then it goes 3 to 4. This 3 to 4th level spell failure. 11. Radioactive energies. You whirl with repulsive energies, drawing the hostility of attacks of all enemies who can see you. That also might work to your advantage. Maybe you can be the bait, and then everyone else is hiding behind. Maybe the thief has kind of moved out of the way, and you're like a bait for this creature, and now it can, the thief has an easier time backstabbing because it's too busy looking at the wizard. And then tier 5, which is the highest tier, get a 14. Oops, I'm sorry. I was rolling a d20. This is a d12 table. 5. Dark plasma aura. Attacks against you pass through a vile aura, dealing double damage for the next 2d6 rounds. That's dangerous. Anyway, so we got scrolls and wands. So the same thing. So spellcasters can use it. So it's just d10 plus the tier of the spell contained in the wand or scroll. And failing, you can fail your scrolls, and then scrolls on a critical failure casters with mishap tables. So kind of works the same as magic, but it's stored in the wand or scroll. Then we go in, we're already to spells. So you got your tiers, range, duration, effects, your focus, if you have any. And then this is everything. This is every priest spell in the book. You got 5 tiers, and basically everything you have. Very easy. The wizard spell list on 2 facing pages. Then you just have a whole bunch of cool spells. Acid arrow, anti-magic shells. Hammer is for cleansing weapon. 1 weapon you touch is wreathed in purifying flames. It deals an additional 1d4 damage. 1d6 versus undead for the duration. So that's really cool. Warhammer. Control water, detect thoughts. I mean, it has basically everything. Typical OSR spells. You could really even add in any OSR spell you really wanted to into this game very easily. That's what's really nice. It goes with DCC. I mean, not DCC. I mean OSE, Old School Essentials, or your BX or your BECME spells or whatever could easily be imported in this game without causing a lot of problem, because it's the same type of level. You're going to be low powered, and monsters are basically also low. You're not looking at like 200 HP, take 5 hours to do 1 combat kind of session. So those spells really scale really well with the system. And then you got a nice cover piece here. And we go into gameplay, so some GM stuff. Your basic GM, how to adventure. You got another little kind of story here about adventuring. Just rolling the dice. You get advantage, disadvantage. Natural 20 is nat 1. And then you get luck tokens. So typically you start with 1 luck token, get 1 reroll. And then there's different types of games you could play. So there's additional information on what kind of game you want to make. It's a little bit later, and it says like you could add more luck tokens or no luck tokens. How to use your stats, basically making checks. So roll a d20, add your mod, and meet or beat these numbers. That's it. So usually everything's a 12. For me, if it's easy, I just allow them to do it if it makes sense. So for me, it's usually 12, 15, or 18. Everything about time, so it's passing real time. That's how because you want to time your torches. So crawling, that's a big thing in Shadowdark, is your crawling rounds, vision. You need to see. No one has dark vision. You need light sources. So it's all about timers. So once you start a torch, GM starts a timer. Usually it defaults to 1 hour, but if you want to go a little bit harder, or you have a smaller gaming session of maybe 2 hours, for 2 hours, I do it in 30-minute increments to kind of get that torch mechanic used. If you're playing maybe 5 or 6 hours, probably 1 hour is good to get a little bit of use out of, a torch going out. That's kind of fun. Then you got resting. So the only time you can rest is you need to be in a safe spot. If you're interrupted, then you're not able to get your full rest. There's no short rests in this game. You have to be in a safe tent, your base camp or whatever, or in town, secure, sleep for 8 hours, and then you're back to full health. So I like that. So there's danger levels. So during, if it's an unsafe area, check every 3 hours, risky, deadly. Check every hour as you're kind of exploring this dungeon. Campfiring, hiding and sneaking, detecting, surprises. Combat, first determine surprise, and then initiative. So in here, it's really checking a dex check, but for me, I don't really like doing that. I like just rolling a d6. So like 1 through 3 is the allies, 4, 5, 6 is the enemies. It just goes faster for me, but that's the default is that way. And combat turns, actions, it's all standard. If you know D20 systems, it's pretty standard. It just has some flavor here and there, morale, and death. So here's the important thing. Like, I like the old school way of death being a thing, but I don't like death at 0. I like a lot of games with death timers, or I don't really like death saves where you can just easily get to it. But I like having that chance. I like that bleeding out because I like to narrate bleeding out as maybe your character's trying to crawl away or something, as that's all they can do. So it just makes it more cinematic instead of just 0, you're dead. Unless it's an attack that does double your base HP -0. So yeah, you would die then. But so once you hit 0, then you start your death timer, 1d4 plus con, and that's how long you have until someone can try to reach you. And on your turn, you could roll a d20, and if you happen to get a 20, you can pop up with 1 HP. So there's a slight, tiny chance you can save. But other than that, then someone has to get to you and stabilize you. So stabilization, they have to use their intelligence, roll that plus their mod. And on a DC 15, they can stop you from dying, but you're still unconscious. So that's cool. So there's still a chance, or hopefully you have a cleric in the priest or something in the party with healing, they might be able to get to you and heal you up. But healing only does like 1d6, so it's not gonna give you full HP. Got your overland travel, turns in time, light, travel per day, that kind of thing. And now another really favorite part of mine about Shadowdark is the downtime. So carousing is really fun. So once you're kind of back in town with your gold and things, you're going to spend your gold to get XP, because in this game there is no XP from defeating monsters. It's all finding things, like gold, amulets, gems, magic swords, magic armor, scrolls, or other things as a GM you can reward them with. Another way is to spend that gold, because gold is kind of, once you buy your armor and everything, you don't have a lot to spend or save gold on. So you can spend your gold on carousing in the tavern. So basically drinking or partying or telling tales. So in carousing, there's a cost. And for each cost, you have a different event. And for everything that happens, you get a bonus to your XP. And remember, your XP is 10. So, on a bonus of +6, that's almost to the next level, especially as the first level character. And what's nice and how I really run Shadowdark is I like running it very random. So after we do the adventure, we do the carousing, find out what happens from the carousing, and then I use that as like a little spark into what kind of adventure I'm going to kind of build for the next turn. I don't like to pre-build a lot. I might have a couple ideas, but typically I like with Shadowdark, my experiment with Shadowdark is just not having any idea what's going to go on. And the day before, we come up with some spark that I'm going to use to make the adventure for next time. Or maybe 2 choices or something like that. They can go here or there. So with carousing, like they ended up rolling. They actually did pretty good. They got so they had I'm sorry, I was saying carousing wrong. So carousing gives you a bonus to your carousing roll. I'm sorry. So you spend like 100 gold, and you get a full day, a night of reverie, gambling, and recounting your exploits, which gives me a bonus of +1 to my carousing roll. Carousing roll is always a D8 plus the 1. So if I roll 5 plus a 1, so I get a 6. The Thieves Guild built you for 5% of your total wealth. So even though I lose my gold, I still gain experience, which is nice. So you're not penalized, even though narratively you're penalized. So it's fun. So one of my adventures, they rolled and they had hazily remembered donating 10% of your total wealth to this a glib priest. So that's how they met this NPC priest, Gargamel, the priest, the dark priest of Memnon, and ended up becoming a party member and going on a lot of adventures. And then when one of the other players wanted to GM, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be Gargamel then, because he became a really interesting character for us. But there was another one, disliked by a noble, survived a blindfold knife throwing contest. Angry wizard cast a deadly spell at you, but it reflected off of your cup. That happened to one of our parties. Yeah, and then there's one in here about a bard somewhere in here. I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, that was another one. They ended up finding a bard, so that was always fun. There's a game in here too, a mini game you could play if you want to play this in a tavern. Wizards and Thieves. I haven't really ever tried this, but it's just a quick dice game you can do to kind of do some kind of mini game kind of adventure inside. Here's a nice example of play. So again, example of how easy this is for a newbie. I totally recommend this for a new person. It'd be quite easy. Some additional game master stuff. Your role, the player's role, core ethos, balance. There is none. But she talks about be unpredictable, telegraphing danger. Don't just throw a death trap at him. Kind of give him some hints. There might be something around. So, rewarding smart play. Running the game, NPCs, how to set DCs, that kind of thing. Rules versus rulings. Yes, yes, yes. Highlight. I should highlight this in yellow, but GM not the enemy. Set the tone of the world. Yes, start small. You don't have to develop much for your first game. You need a starting location, a few interesting NPCs, and a short adventure. That's it. Yes, I do not like prepping my whole world. I want to find out. I like rolling these random tables. I want to be surprised as the GM too. So here we got let there be darkness, attacking the light. So a lot of creatures, maybe some stingbats, come and want to attack your light source. So once your light goes out, you're going to be in big trouble. So there's a mishap table on light. So maybe if you're using your torch as a weapon, you could roll a d6 and see if something happens. Like if they fail hitting something with their torch, then there's a possibility that it goes out. or when lighting the torch, there could be a problem. Then she's got modes of play. So you got blitz mode. So this is what I use. Light timers last 30 minutes. Chaos mode, reroll initiative every combat round. Deadly mode, death timers are always 1. DC 18 to stabilize. Fatality mode, characters die at 0. Grinder mode, hunter mode, momentum mode, pulp mode. So that gives you some more luck tokens. So that might be a little bit useful for like a new player. You could maybe make it a little bit easier for the new person or someone coming from a more heroic type of game system, not mentioning names. So this might help them transition a little bit, that they get a couple, mulligans in the game. And then here we start getting into the good stuff, the random encounters, randomness, reaction of those creatures, traps, random hazards that you could find. So you could either roll across, so with a d12, could be 8, so it could be javelin, pulling a lever, and 2d8 confuse for the damage. Or you could be like 5, rolling boulder, 10, hooked on a thread, and 12, 3d10 petrify. Oh, that's gonna, maybe the boulder hits you, it petrifies you, I don't know. Same thing with hazards. You got the movement type, so sticky webs, rushing water, damage types, acid, pools, toxic mold, and how it weakens you. Blighting smoke, anti-magic zone. The gauntlet, how to make a level 0 gauntlet. How to award XP, so here's your table. This is how to get people to go in dungeons. Like, you're not going to get XP just beating up kobolds and orcs. You got to go find stuff. You got to go explore. So this is how to get your people. They want to level up. You got to go out in that world. You got to go explore. You got to find cool stuff. So there's like 0 XP for a bag of silver, used dagger, some knucklebone dice, normal 1 XP, bag of gold, gem, fine armor, magic scroll, fabulous 3, magic sword, giant diamond, mithril chainmail, legendary 10, staff of ord, a gene's wish, or a dragon's hoard. So that's pretty cool, and give you some stats on how much gold should I be finding. So level 0 to 3, about 20 gold pieces, that kind of thing. And there, the tons of tables. So something happened. Like, what am I going to... Oh, no, I have no time to come up with the session. What am I going to do? Well, just roll on here. You can make a session really quick. Grab your D100. 67. Tonight's episode is A Wild-Eyed Man Approaches with a Holy Book Held High. Now, that's cool. Is he sending you on a mission? Is he cursing you? Or does he think you're the Messiah? Who knows? You got some rumors. Could be like 23. A captain of the guard has been taken hostage by thugs. So that's what you're going to, get him out of the tavern. Adventure generators. There's another one I've used. So you could be like 21. Or I'm sorry, this is a D20. 7. Defeat the 10. Hunter. 10. Again. In the Sorcerer's Tower. Right there. I got an adventure ready to go. Easy. Adventuring site names. So again, D20. You can be like Mines of the Shrouded Jewel. Mines of the Shrouded Jewel. Again, like, it's so easy to just come up with adventures using these awesome Shadowdark tables. Again, roll up some NPCs, NPC qualities. So what's the bartender? I think the names are back here. You can go to the back of the book. What's his name? He's a dwarf. He's 20. Orgo. And he's, what's he look like? He's got 6 fingers. And he does card tricks. And 10 has functional gills. Okay. His secret. He's secretly a mer-dwarf, I guess. I don't know. Here's his occupations. That's cool. So maybe he's not the barkeep. What is he then? He's 3, 1. He's a scholar. Oh, yeah, that's weird. Okay. Rival crawlers, so you can pull up some people. Party name, which I actually had my party come up with their own name in their adventure, and they were the Thundering Rangers, and they were known for their pet lion, which was really funny. It's like just weird. They had a pet lion. So I have the characters also rolled at, not just the NPCs. NPC name generator. You could make a name by syllable, which is cool. What kind of identifier they have. This also how to make dungeons. So you could make dungeons this way. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Let me know if you want me to do a video on making a random dungeon, making random characters or whatever. Or I was thinking of doing a random solo too. Let me know what you want to see. I want to do some Shadowdark stuff. Hex maps. How to make hex maps. And actually, zine. She's already released 3 zines, and she's going to release a 4th one, which is more in depth on hex maps, I believe. Some settlement maps, taverns, and same thing. Like, what do they serve here? You can roll on the food. Mushroom kebab, herb snails, roasted stingbats. Different shops that could be there. Shop generators, interesting customers. And I believe, here we go. And then random table for every environment you can think of. Arctic encounters, artisan district encounters, castle district encounters, cave encounters, deep tunnel encounters, desert encounters, forest encounters, grassland encounters, high district encounters, jungle encounters, low district encounters, market encounters, mountain encounters, ocean encounters, river and coast encounters, ruins encounters, slums, swamp, tavern, keeps going, it doesn't stop, temple district, tomb encounters, university district encounters, and finally, after all that, like, if you can't make an adventure with this, I don't know. Maybe I need to help you. Let me know. Do I need to make an adventure for you guys? Just rolling random stuff and seeing what pops out? Let me know. Monsters. Nice little intro to get that imagination working, and some monster attributes, how to read the monster stats, and how to make your own monster. So you can use this here, make your own monster mutations. So you could have extra limbs, life-draining touch, or you could even use it as a modifier to make a normal monster. Maybe it's a skeleton, but skeletons, you want to spice it up. Let's spice up a skeleton real quick. So it's a skeleton mutation 1, fins and gills. Oh, what is it with gills today? It's a mer creature skeleton, so that's different. And 2, again, it breathes fire. Oh, it's got a lot of mutations. All mutations. And it's blessed by a god. Okay, that's really weird. That's fun. How to design monsters. And kind of how to make it not so much balanced, but kind of give them a fighting chance. So your average party level and kind of what monster level it should be. So if it's a level 3, your party should be somewhere between 4 and 6 per monster that's that level. So it's a 1-to-1. So then we got, that's your monster stat, not 500 paragraphs like those other guys. So we can take a quick look at my favorite. Let's take a look at all these. There's tons of monsters. So great. Small. Let's take a look at Owlbear. Look at that thing. Even NPC types. So you got like a priest NPC in here and what that does. Rat, dire rats. You need those. Skeleton. Here's all I got. A bleached bone skeleton with red pinpoints of light in their eyes. AC 13, HP 11. It rolls a D20, has 1 attack. And when it rolls a D20, you get a +1 on a short sword or +0 on short bow, and it does a D6 or a D4. And movement is near. And then strength, charisma, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Its alignment is chaotic, and it's a level 2, so I need at least 2 characters per one of skeletons to be somewhat kind of balanced-ish. And it's undead, so it's immune to moral checks. Like, do you need more than this to describe a skeleton? No, I think not. So I really like it. Quick and easy. There's a couple other really large ones for like special kind of beasts in here, like one-of-a-kind beasts. So it gives you a little bit of that too. Some bosses maybe. And then you get to the last one, Treasure. This is actually the cover of the special edition. I liked it. I know someone who has it. It's a green cover, but I was getting back in the hobby. It was more money, and I really liked the black and silverness of Shadowdark as opposed to the green. But I do kind of bummed out I don't have this, but I do have a nice picture of it, so it's not bad. And then I have Treasure, Overview, and then Treasure. So it's so easy. Like, what treasure do I put in here? Well, it says level 0 to 3 dungeons. So roll on some tables, and that's the dungeon in the room. So just have treasure per level. It just helps. I mean, you can throw whatever treasure you want, but it kind of helps keep it somewhat. You don't want them to get like some plus 10 Vorpal sword or something like that. So you get some mundane items. So even that, you could dress up your, you don't want to give treasure all the time. You just have some unique features of some items in there. Bite marks, burn, dusty, some luxury items. So boons. So it could be some non-monetary thing. So you gain, this is kind of some benefit. So the Duke will procure you an audience with the Queen. So those kinds of things can give you XP as well. Some secrets, blessings, magic item attributes. So how to make your own magic item, your magic armor or cursed armor. How to make potions. Like, this book has it all. Like, for less than $60, like less than the cost of one of those other guys' books, you have a full game in one book. And it's small. You can take it with you anywhere. It's digest size. And free PDF. I don't have to pay for that. And I don't need no stinking app to make a character. Scrolls and wands. Utility items, which are my favorite because I like weird things. Weapons. Item personality. So this is cool if you get a magic item. It has some kind of weird personality or flaw. How to design magic items. And then some magic item examples. And that's it. And then the character sheet, which is really nice. This just shows you. This is all I need to know. My stat mod, my HP, my AC, what my attack does, some general information, my gear slots, and those are my talents or spells. That's it. I don't need 5 pages. I don't even need 1 whole page of paper. And then it has join the Shadowdark community. I recommend signing up for her newsletter so she can give you a lot of cool things. Information about the new Kickstarter for some new zines and things like that. And then a credits page and the Shadowdark RPG licensing. So I made a couple things for Shadowdark. If you like this simple sheet, but you really want to play, OSR, like one first edition D&D, I kind of took that green, yellow colored simple character sheet and I kind of updated it for Shadowdark. So it kind of makes it feel that old school D&D style. Then the back page, you got a couple more tables. This thing is a table. There's all tables. Oops, all tables, the RPG. And then a couple mechanics. So that's Shadowdark, and there's Arcane Library symbol. Wow, I'm at 48 minutes, plus the intro. So, yeah, thanks for sticking around to the end. Let me know if you want to see me build some characters, build an adventure site, or go solo, or that kind of thing. So, yeah, comment below. Let me know what you think about Shadowdark. Have you played it before? Did you like it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What have you hacked about it? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know stuff. I like to know stuff. Anyway, that's it. My throat's so dry. So dry. So I'm gonna go get a drink, and I will see you again on Rocket Punch Press. Again, Rocket Punch.